Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Ross, for your introduction. Thanks for this opportunity. The topic that I want to share with you for this morning session is about the myths of EFL teaching. So, but first of all, I would like to explain what is the importance of technology in education. Okay, so according to some experts and teachers believe, okay, that technology is not only a tool, okay, in order to carry on different activities in classroom, okay, task-based content activities, communicative activities, research, they're made based on technology. However, uh, it is also suggested that technology is only a part of the education, especially in this part that we are working on online sessions. But it is very vital in order to do research, in order to maintain a balance between autonomous hours and the number of hours that students go to classes, go frequently to classes. In addition to this, I will say the fact that there are some benefits of education and technology. Okay, it is like like a cycle, okay, in which the benefits try to go around, and the most important is that in the education try to seek for students' capabilities, so students' skill in order to improve them. In the EFL teaching, we are concerning to the English skills in order to learn a second language. Okay, so the correct use of technology produce a positive impact on the in the learning, but this positive impact must be adequate and must be supported by the teacher in this case because remember keep in mind that it's only a tool. Another benefit is that the technology uh, is supposed to reduce the gap of inequality between um, people who has opportunity to use and get access to technology and others who can't. Okay, so in terms of sociological impact, okay, in some poorest countries, the governments try to apply some policies in which the internet uh, goes beyond to different rural areas. In our case, in our country, Ecuador, the technological devices for many people, okay, are used constantly in order to have a connection, and they can do different research, especially in the schools, high schools, and universities. Well, another benefit is that it inspires curiosity for learning. Okay, when students feel inspired, it's because technology is working so well. Okay, in this part of the session, I will start with the first myth, okay, which is related to putting computers into schools, okay, uh, it will directly improve learning. More computers will result in greater improvements, okay? Um, it is commonly said that when we advance in technology, as in some high schools, in some districts of education, they believe that if you have more technologies, I mean, more computers in big classrooms or labs, okay, it is better for the students learning. But that can be true or maybe not. This is an important question. Why do you say yes and why not? Because it doesn't depend on the number of computers, and we as teachers we know that is how is the way that how can we use it effectively, and the objective that we use with the technology and and the linguistic components that we have for our students profile. Okay. In addition to this, we have another myth. Once teachers learn the basic of using a computer, they're ready to put the technology to effective use. Um, in other words, It is simply when we teachers are training now um, basic applications, platforms, technological devices, and we are learning from that in order to put in practice in our classes effectively. Or teacher training sessions with some teachers support other teachers in order to have a role model, and they can also coach them in these online sessions because they have different kind of the time of hours, synchronous hours, and those kind of hours make their students try to connect immediately, or they have some problems with the technology. So as a result of that, it is a myth because we can say that the teachers learn faster or learn a lot of basic information of technology. They have improved all the skills, or they're able to be ready to technology. So it depends on some factors. Okay, we have another myth. This is about, it has about equality, okay, equity. And it is about that it can be achieved by ensuring that schools in poor communities have the same student to computer ratios at school in welfare communities. In other words, as I mentioned from the beginning, when I introduced the importance of technology, I was explaining that the to reduce the gap between the poorest communities and the ones that can access to the technology, it's necessary that they exist the same opportunities to use them. Okay, it must exist a balance. All right, equality is not the is a term that we use for the same opportunities for everybody, but in real life, it's a little complicated because you know that in some rural areas exist some factors that incide in the correct in the proper use of technology. So the lack of internet, Wi-Fi, some other problems that affect directly to the students' connection. So that's the reason that it is a myth. Okay, in this part of the session, uh, it is important that it is highly recommended for teachers. Okay, that we try to avoid some assumptions about global autonomy based on task-specific sustained engagement. Students can learn evidently from technology sessions. Yes, it is true. Certainly, they can use autonomous hours to improve themselves and to improve their capabilities. Okay, but it is not a strict rule that it is always going to work efficiently. So, as I mentioned before, the quality is a factor that incidence in the students' development, especially when they work using online sessions. Sometimes they can connect, or they don't have the Wi-Fi, or they have lack of connection. So, as we teacher, must be flexible with that part. Okay, we also recommend that teachers we put in our hands, okay, and try to solve. We're not the total solver problem of this issue, this big issue, but we can try to find some solutions and encourage dialogue between learners and the teacher about the strategies, about how we are going to use these online sessions strategies, how we are going to use them in class in order to make a negotiation. By the way, the students can know exactly how to work, what the teacher expects. And also, as I mentioned before, the teachers, it's important that we can reduce a little bit our higher expectations about this online session with our students. Okay, in this part, we can conclude with some aspects in these online sessions using this technology. First of all, we never have to assume that the students will learn only because they are digital learners. they can have the skills, okay, the capabilities, but if they are not well oriented or to oriented focused to the classes, it will be harder for them to learn or to find their autonomy. Okay. The second point we have, the technology is an efficient tool, but it's not all what the learners need. Okay. So it was explaining in the first part, okay, and it's also part of the conclusion, as we know as teachers, that we use it only for a tool, but it's not everything, okay. So we can use it for different aspects of our classes, formative assessments, communication, developing skills. And finally, we say that every teacher uses technology according to the students' needs, okay. This is very important because as we teachers know the reality that our students are living or struggling, so we have to adapt or reduce, as I said before, the impact of higher expectations that we have for our students. So some teachers are using WhatsApp or other technological devices because they can use other platforms. So uh, I would say that it's okay because that's what the students need in that moment if they have some problems in their communities where they are living.